What's the real reason you haven't written that book? Well, it might be because you believe certain misconceptions about what it takes to get that book written. Hey, everybody, I'm Ricky Heller from rickyheller.com. I'm a writer, editor, and book coach, and I help you find and write your book. So, I have found that there are three general misconceptions when people think about writing a book as to why it can't happen. I want to just run through those and talk about what you can think instead that will make it feel and be so much more doable for you to actually write that book. So, the first one is this concept that the time's not right. I'll write the book when I'm ready. And this reminds me of a quote from Doris Lessing. And she said, if there's anything you want to do it now because the conditions are always impossible, right? I mean, if we think about it, our lives are busy. There's always going to be a reason why the time isn't right now. So I'm taking care of my elderly parents. I'm busy with, I'm getting dental work done. I've got to wait until we pay off the mortgage, whatever it may be. And I remember when I was in my early 30s, I was dating this guy after I'd separated from my husband. And I was sort of just wanted to be in another relationship. And I could feel that there was something not quite right about this guy. I don't know. I didn't totally trust him, but I kept thinking, it's not a good time to break up. It's not a good time to break up. Well, when I found out that he was cheating on me for the entire duration of our relationship, that was a good time to break up. But you know what? Nothing else had changed. I wasn't living in a better place. I didn't have better social life. I didn't have a bigger bank account. I didn't feel more confident in myself. None of those things that I was using as excuses had changed. But the fact was, I had a really strong reason to break up with him. So I did, right? And it was a great decision. But later I was sorry I hadn't done it sooner. So if you're waiting for things to be perfect, sorry to say they'll never be perfect. But you know what? Today's just as good a day as any other day to start that book. So when you think, I'm waiting for the right time is now. All right. The second thing that I hear often is, I just don't have the skills. I'm not a writer. I'm not as good as other people. I don't know how to write, some variation on that. And again, I would have you think for a moment about other things that you have learned to do that maybe you're really good at now in your life and how long it took you to learn how to do them. Or even better yet, think about the first time you drove your car by yourself, the first time you skied down a hill, the first time you played piano. How good were you then? Did you have the skills you needed to be excellent at it? And the fact is, with writing, it's the same as learning any other skill. Sure, if you want to be Shakespeare or you want to be Margaret Atwood, there's a certain degree of innate talent, but we can all learn to do effective writing, effective nonfiction writing with the right help, with the right direction, with the right coaching. And you need to start if you're going to get better at it. So again, it boils down to let's start it now. The third misconception I hear a lot is people just assume it's going to take a huge chunk of your day every single day. And really, writing advice tells us that we should write every day if we want to become a good writer. And I actually believe that, or at least write every weekday, which is what I did. But I know dozens of people, and I'm going to give you the example of myself as well, who have written books in very short bursts of time each day. So in my case, I allotted a specific time every morning. I wrote for a minimum of 30 minutes. If I had more time, I wrote more time for 5 days a week throughout the year. And I wrote an entire novel that way. I have known people who've written books in snippets, right? So they just grab wherever they can during the day, 5 minutes in the checkout line at the grocery store, several minutes while they are walking their dogs. I walk my dogs for 30 minutes twice a day. If I wanted to speak my ideas into my phone or record them some other way, I could continue to walk and basically write the book that way. So don't get stuck in this idea where you feel like writing has to be you sitting at the desk with a pen and paper or you at the computer at your desk. It can be grabbing time in your day wherever you are. I know somebody who did a big chunk of their book actually during the times that they were getting IV drips. So it can be any time of day that you have a few minutes to yourself. Sometimes I cheat. If I'm taking a sauna, I'll bring the paper in there. You got to be careful that it doesn't get sweaty, but you can write in the sauna. Anytime where you have a few minutes and you can write. So it doesn't have to be hours every single day. As long as you can commit a certain amount of time on a regular basis, I think consistency is probably the most important factor there. Then you can write a book. So I hope that those three are helpful. Just to review, don't wait till you feel ready. Don't wait until you think you have the skills, and don't wait until you have hours and hours of time. Because let's face it, in this world, none of us is going to have hours and hours of time to spare really at any point, right? So the point really is start it now, do it now. That's how you improve, that's how you learn, and that's how you can write a book. If you'd like more information about tips and tricks and stories all around writing and the occasional dog story that I add into my weekly newsletter, subscribe to my emails at rickyheller.com/subscribe, and you'll get an email newsletter from me every single Sunday with more information about writing, how you can write, and other aspects of the craft. All right, everybody, thanks a lot. Thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you again soon.